2 Samuel chapter 20. And a man was encountered there, a mischievous son, and his name was Sheba, son of Bichri, a man of Benjamin. And he trumped the trumpet, and said, There is not to us a portion among David, nor an inheritance in the son of Jesse, each man to his tents, O Israel. And every man of Israel ascended from behind David, to follow after Sheba, son of Bichri. But the men of Judah cleaved to their king, from the Jordan and unto Jerusalem. And David entered unto his house in Jerusalem. And the king took the 10 women of his concubines, whom he left behind to guard the house, and gave them to be for a house guard, and nourished them, but did not enter to them. And they were held until the days of their death, living as widows. And the king said to Amasa, Call to me men of Judah in 3 days, but you stand here. And Amasa went to summon Judah, and he passed beyond the time which David ordered him. And David said to Abishai, Now Sheba son of Bichri shall do us evil above Absalom. And now take with yourself the servants of your master, and pursue after him, so that he should not find fortified cities for himself, and should shadow our eyes. And the men of Joab went forth after him, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty ones. And they went forth from out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba son of Bichri. And they were by the great stone in Gibeon, and Amasa entered in front of them. And Joab was being girded with his uniform garment, and upon him was a sword being tied around, being teamed up on his loin in its sheath. And the sword came forth and fell. And Joab said to Amasa, Are you in health, my brother? And the right hand of Joab constrained the beard of Amasa to kiss him. And Amasa did not guard from the sword in the hand of Joab. And Joab hit him with it in his flank, and his belly poured out upon the ground, and it was not repeated a second time to him, and he died. And Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba son of Bichri. And a man stood by him, one of the servants of Joab. And he said, Who is the one wanting Joab? And who is the one wanting David? Be behind Joab. And Amasa having died, and being befouled in the blood, was in the middle of the road. And a man beheld that all the people stood. And he returned Amasa from out of the road to the field, and cast upon him a cloak, for he beheld that every one coming stopped by him. And it came to pass, when he removed him from out of the road, all the people of Israel went by after Joab, to pursue after Sheba son of Bichri. And he went through among all the tribes of Israel to Abel and Beth-maachah, and they were assembled, and they came after him. And they came and assaulted against him in Abel and Beth-maachah. And they cast a siege mound against the city, and it stood in the area around the wall. And all the people with Joab purposed to throw down the wall. And a wise woman yelled out from out of the city and said, Hearken indeed! Hearken! Say indeed to Joab, Approach unto here, and I will speak to him. And he drew near to her. And the woman said, Are you Joab? And he said, I am. And she said to him, Hear the words of your bondwoman. And he said, I am listening. And she said, saying, They spoke a word at first, saying, By asking they shall ask in Abel. And thus they ceased. I am peaceable of one's supporting Israel. But you seek to kill a city, even a mother city in Israel. Why do you swallow down the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, May it not be to me to swallow it, and shall I utterly destroy it? The word is not so. For a man from out of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, son of Bichri is his name, lifted up his hand against King David. Give him to me only, and I shall go forth from the city. And the woman said to Joab, Behold, I will toss his head to you over the wall. And the woman went in to all the people, and she spoke to all the city in her wisdom. And they removed the head of Sheba son of Bichri, and they toss it to Joab. And he trumped with the horn, and they scattered from the city, each man to his tents. And Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. And Joab was over all the force of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute. And Jehoshaphat son of Ahilud was recording, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests. And indeed Ira the Jairite was priest to David.